I hope you're all doing well. This is a video based on some comments that I've had. Thank you so much for all the comments, by the way, all the lovely comments. I get so many beautiful comments, way more than negative ones. Usually I only get one thumbs down, and that's great too. So thanks for the thumbs up, and if you haven't done it, give us a thumbs up. Anyway, my wonderful subscribers, friends, commenters have told me the time that shots were fired and recorded next door to Mayor Millette's home, 9:57 p.m. on the 7th of January, which was allegedly the day that her and her husband were arguing as well. So let's have a look at this chart, and then I'm going to bring up a map and see what I can see. Let's see if it points in a different direction than if you haven't watched the last video, have a look. I've got a feeling that this one might be a little bit more accurate because we've got the gunshots. And an attorney has said that it sounds like gunshots, even mentioned what the gun was, a .357 or something. I could be wrong. Certainly sounds like gunshots to me, and the chart is pretty indicative of that as well. So let's move forward and have a look at this chart for when the gunshots were fired the day that Mayor Millette was last seen. So what I've done is put a few areas in for this gunshot chart. Now, the first place I want to show you, which you're going to see anyway, obviously, is this. Mars is at 0 degrees of Taurus, so it just left Aries, its own sign, which is violent, and also amplifies the gun thing. But Mars is conjunct Uranus. Uranus is a sudden event, and Mars is a gun. The two combined is a gunshot. And unfortunately, they both sit in the 8th house of death. So it really doesn't bode well for this moment in time for this new chart. In fact, I think this chart pretty much supersedes all three of the other ones that I was looking at, because this one's really clear, sadly. Now, I've said this before in Linda Stoltzfut's video. When you have Mars, or a planet that's a ruler, at the end of a sign and the beginning of another one, so at the end of Aries, Aries rules at the head. I'm just going to let you put 2 and 2 together. Mars is a gun and violence. Aries is the head. This position of Aries right up here is the very top of the head. And then when it moves into Taurus, like it has, it's actually the top of the throat. Now, again, as with Linda, although Mars represented a knife in her case, which is, they're interchangeable. Mars is guns, knives, weapons. I believe that her throat was injured as well, and I think that's probably strangulation. I think that she's been strangled and then possibly shot. This is just my opinion, but that's what this shows me. When we look at aspects to this, so this is the gun and the gunshot in the house of death. The ruler of the house of death is also Mars, by the way, so it's not good, which is Aries here. But we've got a couple of 29 degrees, which we had before, but these are really pivotal because Maya is represented by this area, as always, the ascendant, and that's in Virgo. The ruler of Virgo is, oops, that wasn't a good line, is Mercury. So Maya is represented by Mercury, and that's at 29 degrees of Capricorn. It's not in a good position. It's flanked by Pluto, the destructor, and Saturn, which is our physical body and father time, and can represent the end, unfortunately. Now, this area here, as always, is the suspect. It's in Pisces with Neptune right there. So we've got deception. A lot of deception with whoever this is. I'm not going to say who it is, but everyone knows who they think who it is, I think. The traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, and Jupiter's down here. So that's the suspect. And it's conjunct Saturn and conjunct Maya. So there's a close connection there. They're standing next to each other. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they were standing in a spare bedroom or an entertainment area or dining area, perhaps, somewhere where they watch TV. That literally tells me where they're standing when this event happened, because Mars is squaring this Mercury here really tightly from 29 to 0. The square is tension and it's not good, especially when it comes from the victim and the weapon. Took a few things off. We'll take this moon off as well. Actually, we'll look at the moon now. The moon always co-rules the victim, and it's sitting in the second house at this point in time. Now, intuitively, and looking at the chart as a whole with this 5th house energy and the 8th house there, it feels like that there was an argument over money, and this could be this here. But the moon being Maya herself, just the representative, the co-ruler, we look at some aspects, and there's not really anything super tight aspect-wise, but there is an opposition to this Uranus here, which is a little bit wide, but still. So this sudden event has happened to her because of possibly an argument about finances. Well, it could have been about anything, but that particular moment, it would have been a financial discussion, I'd say. I just quickly took all the lines off. Now, when we look at people in a relationship and when they're arguing, especially, we want to have a look at these two. We look at Venus, most often for the female, and Mars. You know, women are from Venus, men are from Mars, all that. Now, even though Mars is at 0 degrees and Venus is at 29, they're both at very critical degrees, and they're making an aspect to each other, 120 degrees away. A very tight aspect. Now, even though that's a trine, it just shows me that it's easy at this point in time for a gun to be pulled. It didn't take much. So I can, in my opinion, as an astrologer, I believe that the argument that happened was about finances, and that's Venus as well, is finances. But and there's a connection between those two there. But there was an argument between her and her partner, and that did result in something. Now, that being both at these really critical degrees shows that something was ending and something was beginning. So it was like the end of an argument and the beginning of firing a weapon. But I have to say that I think that there was probably a physical attack before the weapon. But I think, like I said before, if she's found, God forbid, I believe that she's going to have injuries from her neck upwards, from strangulation and from a gun. I can't understand ever why people do this stuff. There's always a way out. And this is just, it's crazy to me that I have to keep reading these charts. Insane. This is not humanity, you know. It's a nightmare. Okay, we're going to transpose these angles, 2.1 and 21. Mercury, the position of Mercury, because that's Maya. The position of Jupiter, because that's the perpetrator. And we're going to map Mars, because I think probably we'll be able to find a spot where there's a weapon as well. So let's have a look at scribble maps, and I'm going to go over the top of the last map that I used so we know the areas that we've looked and need to keep looking. So I saw a video where they were doing a search in the Bonita golf course area, so I thought I'll draw that line. And that turns out to be the sun line just about. So it's interesting that they're looking there. I'd like to know why, but we won't know why. Maybe this park area here. So that actually does, Sweetwater Road, that does line up with the sun, but that's not what I'm looking at. Sorry, just zoom out. This line here is just slightly off. Okay, this line here is Mercury. It's the line that represents the planet and line that represents Maya. So this is the specifics. Going out 2.1 miles at 299 degrees, which is 29 degrees of Capricorn, takes us to this area here, Sweetwater Cove Park. I don't know what it is, but let's have a look-see. Well, there's a building, some Summit Meadow Road, some structures and oil tank. Okay, I don't know what that is. But the Sweetwater Reservoir, one of the lines, so Saturn goes into the water there, but that's not 2.1. 2.1 would be around about here at the edge here. So I am interested in this area. I know it looks empty, maybe even around this bit here. Maybe I should extend it a bit, but this Sweetwater Cove Park. Now, I know they're looking, well, they've looked on Sweetwater Road and down here. I don't know why, but I plead that if anybody sees this and knows why or anything, to tell me and tell somebody that this area should be searched here, all here. In fact, why would you make it that circle? Let's be realistic. You would search this whole area here. So that is this position here, this planet here, which represents Maya, using these degrees, turning, and even that one down there, 2.1 and 21, turning those into miles outwards. So direction is this, miles outwards are the angles. Definitely needs to be looked at. Now, I've heard that they also have gone in a different direction to Hamul, I'm not sure how to say it actually, but the line of astrology actually is this one here and is just a little bit further than where they're looking. They're looking at this old house here, I believe it is. But I'm thinking actually that over this side of the road probably could be looked at more so. So my second spot is this sort of cross area here. And I'll just do the mileage. We need to go 2.1 miles out as well on this line. Oops. Yeah, I don't know, this is going up a mountain. This line goes through Proctor Valley. I'm not sure about this direction, this side here. I'm just not definitely feeling this area more so than up over here. Now, I'm going to plot Mars. So where's Mars again? 0 Taurus, which is 30 degrees. So we're going to zoom in, grab this, start here and find 30 degrees. And we'll go out a couple of miles just for safe measure. 2.1. There we go. Okay. Oops, got a bit of a mess going on here. Put that back there. Now, the knife could be along this line here, dumped along the way. Even if he's gone the other way, out here, it's possible that the knife is up this way. I'd use this wedge. Look, I'm not going to go into the knife. There's no point. It's more important to find Maya. I mean, it'd be so great if this is all wrong and we find her alive, but she hasn't come home and it's worrying. So again, I've heard that they've searched here. I really hope they're searching over here. And if not, maybe this chart's just showing, if they have searched there and there's nothing, maybe the chart's just showing us that there's a reason why they were searching there. They've got to do this whole area around here. But yeah, this area in particular. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for now. That's the 4th video on Maya. So I'm just hoping that she's found really soon. And thank you for watching. I hope it made sense. Take care, everyone. And don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff. Okay, bye.